Good evening and welcome back to my channel. So obviously I've gotten some more work done, and in this case I'm to the point where I'm about ready to finish with the last little bits to button up and then start on the weathering and so forth. I still haven't answered the questions in my head as far as what kind of modifications I want to do to the front. So I still don't like the spar thing, and it really boils down to how much extra work I want to do. But that said, I want to point out a couple of things, and I'll actually go into the wiring and all the things that I did here to show up. I mentioned these before. These side pieces are sided, so this one only works here. It doesn't fit there because of the angles there. The same with this piece here. This and this fit accurately, and you can kind of see right there. You get a little pointy thing. I don't have a little finger to point with, but I do have this. See these right here? That and that. They're in different locations for each side, so you can't fit them in correctly. So if you take the time to actually dry fit, you will find the correct pieces. What I found was when I go to put these basically put these onto the side panel, and then you put the side panel onto the bottom. Now, because I needed to get access to the inside as I was finishing putting it together, I kind of had to put this together slowly and patiently. This join here took a little bit of fiddling for me, because I couldn't put the top piece on and just sort of clamp it or tape it or rubber band it. If you're putting this model together just the way the instructions say, so if we look at the actual instructions here, if you actually put it together the way they say, you put those in, you clip those on, then you drop these in. It's bang, bang, bang. So it's all one step, part three. You do that, then you rubber band front, back, and center. If you rubber band front, back, and center, you have all that together, and that will help these joints, because as you can probably guess, making sure they stay stuck is one of the challenges. Now you can see these seams here were slightly challenging, especially on this side. I was kind of holding and pressing and holding and pressing. You see, I've got to do some cleanup on this because my finger got stuck in there. I did go in with Vallejo putty. That's the Vallejo. I got it right here. Right here, right here, right here. So I can get my fingers once I can reach. There we go. The Vallejo plastic putty is what I use. I love this stuff. I absolutely adore this stuff. It goes on and cleans up with Q-tips, and it fills in very, very well. So I actually could see light. I could see all the way through because it wouldn't stick all the way down. So that cleaned up really well, and I used it there. I will have to come back that seam there and a couple other places, just with little bits of filler. But overall, this goes together fantastically. This kit is super simple. It goes together very well. Catches. What are the catches? These pieces. So in both cases, when I put these on, there are little tabs at the ends that are meant to go over little spikes or spokes at the end there, at the top there. I found that was an issue. Let's see if I can show it, and I don't think we can. There, you can see that right there. It was my little pointer thingy, right? So you can see that right there. And it's broken off on that side. And that happened on both of these. So when I went to put these on, when I went to put the first one on, one of the tabs broke off as I was trying to fit it on, because it kind of goes in and clicks. It's a little solid, and that just went doink and flew right off. So I took care when I took the second one on, and it did it again anyway. it's no biggie. So if you're sitting there doing this, it's not a big deal at all. Because it's clear now, you can't see it, but I used the micro mask, or not micro mask, but clear. Oh goodness, reach over here. I can probably reach it. Here we go, microcrystal clear. This stuff. This is the other stuff I love. Sorry. So that's what I use to put in. Sorry about that. This is what I use to put in clear parts. It's like white glue, only sticky, and it dries clear. I used it for this one as well. You can kind of see that around the edge, right, for those parts. Okay. So when you're doing that part, just be aware that may happen. It doesn't matter because it's a really snug fit, and then I just put that glue on it anyway, and it went in. So then after so I'd already done this part. I skipped these because it's, obviously I hadn't got to that point yet. So I did steps 1 and 2. Then I did this top half of 4, came back and did 3. And then I'll move on to this, and this. Now, where am I? So for lighting, you can see coming out the bottom, I have this one little wire, and that will go to my power supply. And in here, I have done all of the wiring. So what I also have is this front piece that will go on, and that will clip on. That goes in there. And then these guys drop in. They've got little nubbies right there that go into those things, and that'll drop right there. Now what I chose to do for these upper lighting housings is to use the exact same type of flickering lights for them that I used in the interior. So they're going to flicker as well. So I'm going through these. I'm going to turn this guy on. I've got it hooked up to a temporary power source, but there. So we have the interior light. We have the 2 side pieces light, and you can see those have the same glowy lights that the others did. This whole thing doesn't have the kind of housing that I wanted to make the same sort of fin thing that the Disney one had, but I kind of like the way this is working. I still may put something else on there, and I still haven't figured out this front. But those are the lights. That's running off 3 volts DC. And then I will this is going to come down out the bottom right next to the bottom part of the fin. And then I will, mount that however I'm going to end up mounting it. I haven't figured that out yet either. So that is what I've done. What I did is I just ran the wires in a sequence, put this in, they all connect into the main power. And then this is just going to sit underneath the housing once I have it done. And as you can see, you saw how easily these parts went on as I was just putting those on, and that's really how well this goes together. This kit is super easy. The challenge to this is going to be the PE parts. There are plenty of them, and so putting this together, one of the steps that's going to come, and I will get to those in my next video, will be the masking, because it does come with masking pieces for all of this. And then I'll mask those off as well. And then put the base coat down, and then we start the weathering. And the weathering is what really is going to make this, once I figure out what I'm going to do there. But you can see what I did here with lights is I just had those in, I ran them under, put the 2 wires together, and you can see how they're, you just solder the ends of the LEDs together, run a wire to them, and there we go. So that is, and yes, I know it's not super clean, I know it's not awesome, and yes, I'm using Scotch tape to cover up the ends of the things in there, because I just didn't have access there. I didn't have electrical tape or a sealer just readily at hand. So I'm just making do with something, and I'm just want to make sure that there isn't incidental contact once I button this thing up. So just putting a piece of tape to cover the ends is really all I need. So you don't have to be an electrician, and you don't have to be perfect to be able to do something like this. I play around. I remember starting off as a modeler as a kid using Christmas lights and doing this stuff. And that's, really, that's what I'm using. These blue ones here, that's all I did is I snipped these things off the end, put them in there in the same series that they're in right here, and just connected the other ones into that same link. So that's really how simple that was. So you don't have to be an expert. And this is an example of what I am hopeful is, my whole point of doing videos here, and that's to inspire other people to try something. If you get something at, I originally wasn't going to, I said, I don't feel like lighting it, I don't want to do the work. But then I was like, why not? Let's play with it, let's see what we can make happen. And so far I'm content. I'm content with the direction it's going. So there we go, just wanted to share that, give an idea of where we are, give an update. That's, I guess, part 2 now. We'll be back with part 3, where once I've gotten this thing buttoned up, and we've started on the painting and the detailing, and hopefully I'll figure out if I'm going to change the front end or something. It needs something. I really don't like that spar. So there we go. Again, hope this is helpful to you. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, all 2 of them. And if anything, I hope this inspires you to, if you've got a desire to try something, go for it. Give it a shot. Put some tool to plastic and give it a try, and you never know what you might end up with. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.